The Second Amendment is under attack, and we need to be talking about it. Washington, D.C. District Attorney Jeanine Pirro has threatened law abiding gun owners with law enforcement if anyone is caught carrying a gun in the district. Now, she did backpedal on her statement after some backlash online, and she said they were simply targeting unlawful gun owners in the district. However, this contradicts her statement because she didn't mention unlawful gun owners. She mentioned lawful gun owners in other states, in other districts.
Bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back.
Now, Washington, D.C. already has extremely strict gun laws, and you are required to register and meet the requirements through the Metropolitan Police Department, with the option of concealed carry if you meet those requirements. And if you are already registered in another state or another district, you are allowed to transport your firearms through the district while following the requirement. Now, I think it's really interesting that under DC law, if you have a government issued weapon, are a current or retired law enforcement provider, or an active on duty service member, you don't have to register your weapon through the state. However, I think that just like everyone else, service members who are serving the state should be required to register their firearms through the state that they're serving. Anything else is just giving the federal government way too much power over state gun laws. The statement made by Jeanine Pirro came just under 2 weeks after ICE agents murdered Alex Preddy following the murders of Keith Porter and Renee Good, also at the hands of ICE agents. Now, many people online have been criticizing Jeanine Pirro for message testing, calling it a tactic used by government officials to kind of test the waters with the public and see how people will react to manic statements made by government officials, in this case about gun restrictions and ownership under the Second Amendment. Now, it's really important to note that Pirro has expressed her support for the Trump administration, who have been extremely adamant on restricting gun laws and ownership for citizens in the United States. Let's take a look.
I take the firearms first and then go to court.
With that being said, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that.
So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
Now that you're back, while the Trump administration is so hell-bent on restricting gun ownership for citizens in the United States, ICE agents are actively committing war crimes against U.S. citizens. Now, all of the videos I'm about to reference will be through the link in my description on YouTube, so if you want to go check out the evidence, it will be there. I'm not about to pay for YouTube Premium because they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation partnered with Silicon Valley, so they really don't need any more of our money. But ICE agents have tear gassed a 7-year-old. They have tear gassed a family of 8 while they were all still in their car with their babies in the car. They have tear gassed the grounds of a preschool. They have been using excessive force and attacking peaceful protesters with tear gas, which is prohibited under international law. They have been using excessive force when detaining peaceful protesters without probable cause, and releasing them hours later without charges. And ICE agents, with their weapons drawn, have been harassing citizens on the streets who aren't even attending peaceful protests. They're just living their lives. ICE agents have been found guilty of entering businesses with their weapons drawn. ICE agents have been found guilty of detaining U.S. veterans without probable cause, using excessive force, and then releasing them hours later without charges. And some veterans have actually been held in these detention centers, which have an insurmountable amount of human rights violations at this point. And to top it all off, they have been filmed running over a student at a peaceful rally on school grounds. The focus right now should not be on restricting gun ownership for law-abiding citizens. The focus should be on eradicating ICE and holding both the DHS and ICE accountable for domestic terrorism, and ensuring that these people are banned from gun ownership from here on out, and sent to prison for committing war crimes against U.S. citizens. Stay informed, do what you can, and stop paying your taxes.